Scrum. Introduction and Recap. Note: this Scrum intro is taken from one of my previous classes. Scrum Theory. History repeats itself unless you do something about it. Paul VII. Scrum is based on empirical process control theory. The idea is very simple, so do not let the name worry you. It consists of three principles: transparency, inspection, and adaptation. The idea is that the Scrum team agree to be transparent, honest, in all that they do on the project. Being transparent means that functionality is not done until it meets the development team's definition of done. Transparency builds trust between the team members. Once the team have agreed on transparency, they agree to consistently check on progress, inspection, and make improvements based on what they have seen, adaptation. These can be improvements in practices, sticking to values, communication, or other aspects. This is powerful stuff in industry, the ability to consistently inspect and adapt. In that way, a team are improving time and time again before, during, and after the release of a product. This is something that was not possible with the waterfall model of development. Scrum Skeleton. The Scrum Skeleton is a quick and easy way to explain the process to someone, so I will use it to explain the process to you. On the left side of the skeleton, we see the product backlog, which is nothing more than a list of all the features and their acceptance criteria that the business desires for the product. The team takes on a subset of that backlog, called the sprint backlog, which they break down into tasks and work on in an iteration called a sprint. A sprint is a period of time less than 30 days, and in that time the team work on their tasks until they develop a working increment of the product. These are like the miniature phases of the waterfall within the waterfall model, as described in my book, The Scrum Megapack. There is some gathering of requirements and updating of specifications before the sprint, followed by design, implementation, and testing. Above the large sprint circle, you will see a smaller circle. This represents the fact that every day the team meet to check progress and adapt their plan for the day in a daily Scrum meeting. At the end of a sprint, the team deliver a potentially shippable increment of the product. The business can review the increment in a sprint review and then release the new features to the world if they so wish. The team then discuss, transparently, their progress during the sprint in a sprint retrospective, inspect, so they can improve, adapt on things that need improvement, or retain things that are going well. The cycle then begins again and repeats until the product owner has nothing more to add to the product backlog. The Scrum Skeleton demonstrates the simplicity and power of Scrum as a miniature factory, churning out shippable features each sprint. These concepts can apply to any team or indeed individual who needs to deliver a product.